Hello, everyone. I'm Katie Johns, and I'm actually Dr. Randy Johns' wife. I just wanted to come on here today and share my story. I'm not sure that a lot of you know it, some of you may, but for the rest of you, if you're going through something that I went through or feeling some of the ways that I used to feel, I just want you to know that there is hope and to have encouragement because I wish someone would have been able to do that for me when I was growing up. Um, at the age of 7, I remember I was in swimming lessons, and this day kind of forever changed my life. I was 7 or 8. Anyway, I was in swimming lessons, and one of my mother's friends noticed that my spine didn't look right and said something to my mom and just said, hey, Katie's spine doesn't look right. Have you guys looked into that? Have you checked it out? And at the time, my mom had kind of, I think, been hoping that maybe she was just thinking that something was wrong and being worried. But when another friend brought it to her attention, it kind of made my mom realize that we really did have an issue. So I remember going home that day and my mom sitting down with me and my father and saying, okay, I think we need to look into this. And they took pictures, I remember that day, to see how straight I could stand. I was having a hard time standing straight. My shoulders wanted to be rounded like that. And so to sit straight was really, really hard for me. We went to a ton of doctors. At the time, we went to a chiropractor first. And I have to say, at that time, I did not have a good experience with chiropractic. And I'll just say that. And I was so young that I didn't really understand what was going on, but let's just say it wasn't the greatest experience. From there, I saw specialist after specialist. Finally, we found someone that was a specialist that could actually diagnose what was going on, and I was told that I had something called Sherman's kyphosis and scoliosis. Now, scoliosis is pretty well known. I think a lot of people have heard of that before. And scoliosis is when your spine kind of has that S curve and goes like that. Sherman's kyphosis is when the spine, if you're looking at it from the side, goes like this. And you can see that big hump. I call it the hunchback of Notre Dame. That's what I always felt like growing up. But my spine has that tendency to be really rounded forward. And as a young girl, my spine was ultra curved. Had very head-forward posture, and then on top of it, scoliosis. So I dealt with a lot of headaches as a kid. Without contacts or glasses, I am legally blind. Had seasonal allergies, had food issues, had panic attacks for no reasons, like they would just happen, and I didn't understand why. The list kind of goes on and on with issues that I had that at the time I didn't even realize were probably related, and now I know were related to the spinal conditions that I had. And so anyway, that diagnosis really set me on a journey of extreme physical therapy, doctor's notes, not being able to be involved in sports, not being able to be involved in regular activities that happened in gym. I was constantly being taken out of school to go to physical therapy so that I could at least strengthen the muscles around my spine so I could stand straight. Everything we were trying to do was to keep me out of having to put a brace on, because that was going to be the next step, was brace and or surgery. And my parents instinctively didn't feel comfortable with doing surgery for me, so our goal was to do anything and everything we could to get me to at least a somewhat normal curvature of the spine. And so during those years, I can say from probably about 8 years old up until 8th grade, were heavy years of physical therapy, x-rays, doctors, scans, etc., etc., etc. And then I got into high school and kind of moved on. And then that kind of takes me to now. I basically was told this is the most correction you'll get, and you will deal with headaches. You will have issues as you get older. Your joints are going to get probably more stiff. You'll probably notice things as you age that other people don't. but this is going to be your life, and this is just what you have to deal with. And so I believe that that was the case. And I remember there would be days I'd be taking 4 Advil every 4 hours in order to get rid of a migraine. I would get sick all the time. I was constantly sick. Mono more than once, strep throat all the time, bronchitis, you name it, seasonal allergies, and I just couldn't get it together, honestly, health-wise. And I never really felt great, ever. I'd lived my life, and I had a great time, but I never felt good, and I just thought that that was what I had to deal with and live with. And it's interesting because, again, through that whole experience, at 7 years old, I went and saw a chiropractor, and I never went back again because I had a bad experience. And I think sometimes when we have bad experiences, we tend to write things off and then say, well, I'm never going to do that again. I had a bad experience, and that's that, and I'm never going back. And I think somewhere along the way in biology, I missed the portion about how much impact your spine really has in body function, organ function, and I never really thought of the spine as something that you should really be maintaining, and that I could even get correction to my spine. And it's interesting because, 3.5 years ago, I met my husband, and, I knew he was a chiropractor, and I had started to become more open to the idea of chiropractic again through some people in Minneapolis. But then I met Randy, and of course I ended up falling in love with him, and I'm married to him today. And I really just had to decide when I met him, was I going to be okay being with a chiropractor? Because I was not into chiropractic care at all. And I took some time to really look at, okay, what is this philosophy of chiropractic? What does that actually mean? And what can it mean for my life? And of course, through the process, I've learned so much about the philosophy of chiropractic, about how really none of us are meant to be sick. Obviously, we know we're meant to be well, and that there are different specialties in chiropractic, which was something I didn't understand. And so an area of specialty that my husband focuses in is CBP, and it is absolutely amazing the correction that you can get to your spine. And for me, I've been under chiropractic care now for 3 years, and with that, I've also made major lifestyle changes, health changes, and I feel better than I've ever felt before. Now, I'm not saying I don't have bad days. Everybody does. I'm not saying I don't get an occasional headache here and there. This isn't a story to say that you are going to be 100% well, but I can tell you that over 90% of my headaches are gone. I can tell you that I feel so energetic. I don't struggle with the allergies that I used to struggle with. I don't have hypoglycemic issues anymore. I don't have joint pain like I used to have. And I rarely get sick. When I do get sick now, I can turn it around within about 48 hours. And I can't say that that was ever the case for me in the past. And I'm able to feel so great and so energetic, and the chiropractic care has changed my life. I've had correction to my spine that I was told I would never have. Now, after 33 years of damage to my spine, will I ever be 100% perfect? No, but I've seen over 70% correction, and that was something I was told I would never get outside of surgery. So I just am here to encourage you and say, if you are struggling with back pain, if you are having intense allergies, migraines, you don't feel good, your blood sugar is up and down, because I know that feeling, any symptom like that, no matter what it is, if you're just low in energy and you don't feel like who you want to be or who you used to be, there's hope. And that hope really lies in taking proactive control of your health and doing something preemptively so that you don't ever get to the point where you have to have a diagnosis that is so life altering and life changing. You actually have the ability now to implement amazing chiropractic care and continued great nutrition and supplementation and things that will really change your life dramatically. And I hope that encourages you. And I hope you know that if there was anyone that was a huge skeptic, it was me. And now here I am married to a chiropractor. So sometimes we don't really even know what we need. Sometimes we just got to give it to God and let Him, because my life has been dramatically changed for the better with chiropractic care. And I hope that one day you'll be able to say the same thing and get some relief from any pain that you may be feeling. So I hope this finds everyone well, and I just thank you for your time, and God bless.